So let's do a self-care exercise. I want you all to make this table. If you guys have like a piece of paper or like something near you, draw this table out where you have 3 columns. And at the top of each column, call it when I feel X or like when I feel blank. And then I can do blank and I will feel blank. And with that, I'll actually give you guys my example on the next slide, but I'll give you guys like maybe a minute or two to draw this out. And then we'll talk through how to fill out a table like this and then how to come up with ideas on what sorts of self-care activities you can do for yourself. Okay, I'll go to the next slide and start talking a little bit about my own self-care table or the table that I filled out. So here's a couple of different things. So say I've listed on the very left, the leftmost column, different like sorts of emotions I could possibly feel. So maybe I feel overwhelmed or listless or sad, stressed or tired. So then in the second column, I write a little bit about what sorts of things I can do that'll help me overcome that feeling. And then the last column is for the product. What is the result of carrying out that action or that activity, and how does that make me feel now? So when I'm overwhelmed, I usually just take a stretch break. I get up, walk around my room, do a little bit of not really yoga, but just like stretching my body, because sitting in a chair for so long and facing the laptop is just not great for my body. And also I need to move my body regularly to be active and to keep my mind active and not want to fall asleep. So take a stretch break and that makes me feel more relaxed. Say that I feel really listless. Usually I'll just pick up a book of my choice. It doesn't even have to be like anything that's like academically related. I'll just read any sort of book that I'm potentially interested in. And then that'll ultimately make me feel mentally stimulated because I'm still using my mind to read and I'm like thinking, but I'm not overwhelmed anymore because now I am happy reading something that I enjoy. And it's a good break. If I'm sad, this one's just, I feel like this one applies to a lot of people. When I'm sad though, I just eat my favorite snack. I'll grab something that I like and I'll just eat it and it'll like automatically make me feel a little more content or like happier. If I'm stressed, I really feel like having a good support system helps with the stressful environment, whether that mean high school, college, or beyond. Just having people to be able to talk to. Usually I'll just call up like my friend or like a family member, and most of the time they're always like available to speak to me for a couple minutes and just talk about what I'm stressed about, and then also help calm me down, help me realize that that stress isn't long-term stress. It's going to be something that like obviously is going to dissipate based on like how I approach a situation or something like that. So overall, my conversations with my friends or family members ultimately result in me feeling calm and less overwhelmed. Usually when I feel tired, this is going to be most often right when I wake up in the morning. I'm like really groggy and I'm not really excited to take on the day sometimes, just because I'm like overwhelmed about how stressful the day is going to be and all that. If you guys have ever heard of Morning Brew, that's a really cool, I don't even know, it's like an app. They have a website. You do like an email, what do they call it, like an email newsletter. That's what they do. An email newsletter, I think every couple of days or maybe even every day, just like updates on what's going on in the world. And I think reading that in the morning really helps me feel a little more energized and also gives me an idea of what's going on around the world, because sometimes I'm so like engrossed in my own academic stuff and that I don't enough time to read the news. So just being up to date on things going on in the world helps me realize that the world is not just like all the stuff I'm doing. There's so much more going on out there that's also interesting. So I like keeping myself updated, and that makes me feel a little more energized. So reading the news or like reading Morning Brew, if you guys want to check that out.